Hello, everybody. Welcome to our podcast, the AdTalk OC podcast, brought to you by the AAFOC, American Advertising Federation. I am Ivan, Vice President of the American Advertising Federation. My company is IG1, and we are at our booth here at the Content Marketing World in San Diego. Our guest today is Andrew Eldridge Martin, who is a speaker at the conference as well. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much. Really happy to be here at the Content Marketing World and looking forward to speaking tomorrow.
So tell us about your company, Andrew.
Yeah, our company is Ground Truth AI, and we've built a digital platform that delivers narrative intelligence for videos on YouTube. It's called Clarify AI, dashboard for clients coming soon. At this point, we're just offering it to our clients as a managed service. What we're able to do is we're able to gather all of the relevant data off of YouTube that mentions a specific brand with a 12-month look-back window, so we can pull down hundreds of thousands of videos in a matter of minutes. We're able to then identify the narratives and sentiment of all of that content with respect to the given brand. We're able to tell them what kind of share of narrative they own on YouTube, where other voices are coming from, and what they're saying about the brand.
Oh, wow. So in the old days, let's say you had an agency and you had a client that had content, right? And then you had to maybe do all these hours of research just to get on YouTube. And then you don't even know if you probably skimmed the surface. Maybe you would have your interns do it or something like that. Right. Is this kind of what that's replacing?
Yeah, exactly. Many media monitoring or social listening products that are out there right now replace the work of hundreds of man hours of reviewing all of the content that's out there about a brand. What we do is we're taking that type of feature and service and value creation, and we're doing it for the actual videos themselves. And some of these are hours long, right? Some of them are very short, but some of them are very long, and everything in between. There's an incredible long tail of content out there, from creators, from competitor brands, from reviews, and everybody is consuming this information in a really wide variety of contexts, depending on screen, depending on location. So we're able to see all of that. We're able to kind of create like a intelligent narrative from all of that noise to help you understand what is actually being consumed that's relevant for you.
Oh, wow, that's great. That's going to save people a lot of time, and I'm sure that, they can tailor their message in a better way that's more towards what they're looking for.
I think in an aspirational sense, we want to be able to provide people the insight and intelligence about what they should be saying, but we also want to be kind of humble in that conversation and understand that we don't know what someone else wants to or needs to say. What we want to do is, I think, right now, tell people what is happening, what's being consumed, and give them kind of the landscape of what's going on, rather than saying, this is what you need to say next, because I think right now that honestly the technology and the context with which we take a project in from a client doesn't include enough information to be able, we're not their agency, right? We are not their brand manager. We are empowering them to do better work.
Okay, great. And what made you come out to the content marketing world?
Well, I got the chance to speak here. This is my first time at Content Marketing World, and so I took the opportunity to come out from the Washington D.C. area. So it was a bit of a trip.
Oh, I bet.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh, that's great. What's the biggest challenge you've had so far with your new endeavor?
I think the biggest challenge that we have, and this is one of the reasons we're out here, right, is to learn and to talk to other people in the space. The biggest challenge we've had is how do we, as we're getting insight, as we're getting information from the data we're collecting and analyzing, how do we present something to a client or a partner in a way that provides real value to them versus just like, oh, this is a description of what's happening. And so the actual refinement of the product, refinement of the feature for the client is really, I think, like our biggest challenge as we're building software.
That makes sense. Aside from the AI that's in the program, what other tools and tech do you use?
One of our, I think, really distinguishing features is the degree to which we have built over the last year and a half, technology that integrates with the YouTube API to make sure that we're getting absolutely every piece of data off the platform that is available to us that is relevant for a given brand and the narratives and industry in which they reside within. In addition to AI, the YouTube API is a really important piece of our tech stack.
Okay. Is there any advice you can give to other marketers out there? Maybe they couldn't come out here to watch your speech. Is there any advice you can give?
What I would say is that right now there's a lot of noise and there's a lot of voices in the world, and we understand and we see every day just how hard it is to break through that wall of information that is out there.
Yeah.
And so I think finding ways to get the insight you need, tracking, the conversation and audiences that you're most focused on, and understanding how they're receiving information will allow you to actually speak to them with a loud enough voice to actually break through is a really important number to think through and understand, because you might reach your audience with an amazing piece of creative, and it may not stand out because they saw 1,000 pieces of creative in that same day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so figuring out what is your weight within that information space that they are consumed by, I think is one of the challenges that we see a lot of, and that we really try to help our clients overcome.
So kind of like these microphones, I hope that they're doing a good job, because there's all this noise happening, and I hope that you guys can hear exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. And where can we get in touch with you, Andrew? Is there a website?
Sure, yeah. We're at groundtruthai.org, and you can find me on LinkedIn as well. I generally am not on the other social platforms.
Okay, that's totally fine. Thank you so much for being on the show, Andrew, and we really appreciate having you, and looking forward to your speaking part.
Awesome, great. Thanks for having me.
All right.
Bye.
Today is going to be the Ivy and Ivan show. Yes. We have Ivy here from Adobe.
Hello, I'm Ivy.
And I'm Ivan, of course. So yeah, Ivy, you work with Adobe. Tell us about the content marketing world. What brings you here?
Yes, well, I work at Adobe, and I specifically work with Adobe Express, which is for a lot of content marketers and maybe your non-traditional creatives. So obviously Adobe has a lot of Creative Cloud users, and they're doing really high intensity creative work. But we've noticed that there's a need for a simpler content creation tool for the people who don't need the entire Creative Cloud stack.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool. So we have the whole Creative Cloud, right?
Yeah.
So does Adobe Express come included in there?
Yeah, so if you have the Creative Cloud, then you already have access to the full premium Adobe Express. But then there's also an option to do a standalone license where you only get Adobe Express, and the premium version of it. But there's also free versions of it. There's lots of different options.
Oh, that's awesome. Great. Yeah. How far did you have to come to do this what do you call it, conference?
Yeah, I flew from Utah.
Oh.
So not too far, but it was a fast flight.
Okay.
But not in California.
What is the biggest trend you've noticed in content marketing?
Yeah, biggest trend. I think we're seeing a lot of video content coming out, and more interacting with people in less of a static way, and more motion and more personalization, and really talking to your audience and engaging them.
Okay. Well, it's a good thing you mentioned video, because That's what.
Your video.
I know somebody who does that.
Yes.
So far, the conference, I know we just kind of got started, but is there a takeaway you can? What is the biggest takeaway you've had so far from this conference?
Yeah, well, so far I've just been talking to a lot of people who are in marketing, content marketing specifically, and I think I'm noticing that everybody's trying to tackle AI, and like, how do you start using AI? What's your company policy on AI? What does that look like? So I think it's interesting to just get everybody's different perspectives and think about my own perspective on it and Adobe's perspective on it. And obviously we have a lot of AI features. Adobe Express has a lot of AI features, and we approach it in a commercially safe way. So it's really interesting to hear everybody talk about AI and how they're using it or not using it.
I have a question about tools and tech, but that's what you guys are, tools and tech, right?
Yes.
Or aside from Adobe, is there any other tools and tech that you've noticed that are becoming really relevant?
Ooh, that's a good question. Honestly, like, I'm not a traditional creative and I'm not a traditional content marketer. So in terms of other tech, I'm not really sure. Obviously, I'm in Adobe Express all day.
Yeah.
And I specialize in that. So I think in general, I'm seeing the need for a simpler content creation tool, and I guess the creative process is no longer just for your classic creatives or your, in-house agency or those really like strict creative roles. I think that everybody is needing to create content in some way now, because there's more of a content demand with all of our social media and trying to be more personalized in businesses. So big content demand, but we're not people aren't growing their teams or growing their budgets. It's like, do more with less. And how do you do that, right? So that's what Express is answering. So I would say just in general, I'm seeing a need for easy content creation that can be on brand and your creative team can trust you with.
Okay. Is there anything that stands out of your job that you'd say, oh, this was a pretty interesting day or thing? Good or bad?
I work with a lot of different enterprise companies, and so I get to hear really unique issues in the market that I think end up being common for other people, but it is interesting to hear from these really massive clients who you think like, oh, they have all the money in the world or all the resources in the world, and they're having very similar issues to like what a smaller company would be having to, of just like figuring out the same things that we're all dealing with in content marketing, like what's our policy on AI, and how do we connect all of our workflows together, and how do we get rid of silos in our different teams across the company. So I would say in my day-to-day, I'm talking with a lot of very interesting people about their unique issues that all kind of end up being similar to any size business.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's fun. I get to peek behind the curtain and talk to a lot of different brands.
Okay, that's really cool. And do you have any advice for content marketers out there? Anything that maybe you've met somebody here that does something interesting or whatever that you could say, hey, look out for this. This might be a trend that you might want to look into.
Oh, I'm going to give you an answer that you're going to hate because it's probably what everybody's going to say and they've been saying. But I think that we need to figure out how to embrace AI and learn AI, because I really do think AI isn't here to take our jobs. It's here to make us better and more efficient. And so I think like if you're afraid to embrace it, you've got to embrace it because it's here, it's coming, change is happening. And I think it's like you should learn it now so that you can be an expert and you can be relevant, because I think it's not about we're replacing you with AI. Instead, it's more like we are replacing you with someone who knows AI.
Exactly.
And somebody who knows how to use it and is already using it to be more efficient. So I think that, but then I also think that obviously there's lots of different brands and we're all trying to stand out, and how do we do that? And I think, figuring out what your brand is and what your niche is and your voice, and then being authentic to that.
That makes sense. The authenticity is very important, right?
Yeah, especially in a world with AI, right? Like I think you can still use AI but be authentic to yourself and like create things that are in your voice and things that you stand for and are very much you. And I think that's important.
Okay, great. Cool.
great.
Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. This was so fun.
Yeah.
I love this.
It was great having you as a neighbor, and I think we might rebrand the show as the Ivy and Ivan show from now
I think
on.
we need to now. I
Yes.
think we can have some great pop culture discussions.
Yes.
I'm really good at that. We can talk about fashion.
Ooh.
And then we can also talk about video trends as well.
Okay. I know about video trends, fashion, and pop culture. I'm not
can
very
bring
good
the
at,
rest.
so you
Okay.
you do that.
We'll bring our two expertises together.
Perfect.
Love it.
All right. Awesome.
Well, thank you. That was so fun.
Thanks.
I loved it.
All right. And cut.
Cut.
And we're here with Danielle.
Hello.
And then Danielle is coming all the way from the other side of the country.
Yes.
From St. Petersburg,
Yes, Florida.
Florida, all the way here to San Diego, California.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
It was a long travel day to get here.
Oh,
So,
yeah. I bet.
Yeah.
So what made it so important to come all the way out here?
Well, I had a friend of mine that had brought this conference up. I love going to conferences. I love having any opportunity to learn more about marketing and ways that I can help just bring more knowledge and information and resources to the company that I work for. And I've really been wanting to lean more into content marketing. I work as an email marketer myself. But it is also my first job in marketing in general. So I just feel like I have a lot of groundwork to cover to really drive value for my company. And then I figure anything about content marketing is something that I want to be at.
Nice. Awesome. Wow. And so what was so far, this is the first day, right? Or were you
Yes.
here yesterday or
No, I was not.
Okay.
No.
So I
Wanted to
saw-
be, but wasn't able to.
Okay. I saw some people, when we were setting up, I saw there was people going in and out.
Yeah. No, there were supposed to be a lot of workshops and things that were a lot more intimate. Yeah, and getting a lot more exposure to the different brands that are here and the different speakers. So yeah, it definitely seemed like it was worth going to.
Okay. What's the best presentation you've seen?
I would say, one of my favorites so far has been the talk from American Airlines. And she was really just talking all about the customer journey and leaning really deeply into personalization. And there's a lot of buzzwords around AI. And so it's a little bit more refreshing to go to some sessions that aren't super based in how do we immerse ourselves in AI? How do we bring all of this in? And so it was really refreshing just to hear more tactical things that we could be doing today with the type of resources that we have, and just ways that they're using and operationalizing a lot of the consumer data that they have too, to bring more personalized content to their consumers. So I thought it was super, super interesting. I learned a lot.
Nice. So you definitely are, I guess you got some takeaways already that you learned something new today?
Oh, absolutely, yes. And just understanding how a lot of these bigger brands really build out their customer journeys. I'm here for email marketing, like I already mentioned, and I've been lucky enough to actually go into a lot of sessions that were strictly about email marketing, which I was super excited about because I feel like usually they're not that honed in on the specific channels. So yeah, I've learned a lot that I'll be able to take back to my company, which I'm excited for.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Great. As a marketer, what is the biggest challenge you've faced?
There are many, I feel like, today. I would say the biggest one that comes to mind is definitely building trust with your consumers, with your subscribers. There have actually been a lot of sessions today about building trust, building relationships with your consumers. I think a lot of the businesses here, or a lot of the attendees here, are more B2B. I'm more business to consumer, but I still think that it's super important to drive and build trust with your consumers. A lot of times we just blast out a bunch of emails that are just like, click here, convert this way, buy here, sign up for this, when in reality we're not really building relationships, so there's no trust there. So it's something that I really appreciate of trying to do that, and that is a big thing that I'm going to take back to my company of hey, I know we really just want to drive conversion with these emails, but people just don't want to be constantly being sold to, So
you feel like in the long run, having that trust is going to get you more conversions because now it's more automatic, oh, it's those guys. Yeah, I like them. I trust
Yes,
them.
absolutely. Especially when you're in more high value sales and services, which is what I do. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a huge aspect of it. And a lot of the stats that have been quoted here is how only 5% of your audience is actually in market, 95% of your audience is not and won't be for many years. So to be able to build that trust, build that relationship, offer education, really understand like how to create content in those for that audience that isn't in market right now, I think is just so valuable.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know the number was that high.
It is. It's been quoted multiple times, and I'm like, okay, I gotta really lock that one in. That's good.
Wow. Are there any tools, platforms, or strategies that are helping you move the needle lately?
So the first one that comes to mind, I don't see any of the type of vendors here, which I think could be valuable for maybe some future events. But like I said, I'm in email marketing, so a really big thing that has come about is just deliverability, sender reputation, really knowing how to steward your list and maintain clean contacts and things like that. So there is one vendor specifically called Inbox Monster who has just been an incredible help to our company, just to help us understand what are all of the different like ways to land in spam, stay out of spam, what are some things in our content that are maybe triggering spam filters and things like that. And I've just been so educated by this provider, and we actually just signed up for another one of their tools. So, you know, they've built a really great relationship with us. They've driven a lot of value, and then we were like, you know what? I know that there's this other product and tool that you guys offer, which is to help with quality assurance for emails. Let's try it out. So yeah, it's just been an incredible platform that we've been able to leverage and really help us get out of some bad situations we put ourselves in.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, well, that's something for the content marketing world, people to reach out to. Like, hey, you should have a booth here next year.
Yes. No, and there's a lot of vendors in that space too. So I would agree. I think that's a good niche to lean into here.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. Do you have any advice for anybody else in marketing, content marketing that?
I think it's stay curious, keep learning. I mean, people who are already coming to conferences and things like this are, I would say, in that category of people who are wanting to learn and grow and just drive value for their companies and for their businesses. So I would say just keep learning, stay curious, and really carry that type of attitude into your content. Because I think a lot of people, I think that's what has made TikTok so big over the last few years, really, and YouTube, is that people just really want to be educated. So if you just continue to educate yourself and then also allow that to feed into your content for your own consumers, I think that would go a long way.
Oh, that's great. That's some great advice. This is Drew James, Head of Sales for Content Marketing World.
I really, really appreciate you joining the show. We're thrilled to have you, and just hope you're having a wonderful time engaging with our community.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you. So tell me, Drew, what's the beginnings, what's the evolution of Content Marketing World?
Well, actually started as a startup, a small business founded by Joe Polizzi and his team in Cleveland, Ohio. And it really started out as a blog for the marketing community about content marketing. And this was really in about 2010, 2011 timeframe. Content marketing wasn't really even necessarily a defined segment of the marketing function at that time. It was a new term for an old thing. And really the way we define and kind of always have defined content marketing is any creation of any type of content, whether that be written content, a website, an email newsletter, a blog, a white paper, or even all the way to consumer creation that, for instance, that Netflix is creating, but to cause a transaction. So Netflix might be looking to get a subscription. John Deere might have a newsletter where they're looking to inform their community so that they know how to purchase a combine or a tractor. Bank of America might generate videos to inform new young bankers or checking account owners. So it runs the gamut. It can be consumer or it can be business to business as well.
Oh, okay. And so what's the, you were in Cleveland, is that right?
Yeah, we were founded, as I mentioned, by Joe in Cleveland and his team, and it was a small team to start. And interest started to grow with subscribers to the blog. And then as that developed and grew, became evident that maybe there was something there for a live face-to-face event. So the very first face-to-face event was at a hotel in Cleveland. we expected at that time maybe just a couple hundred people would show up, and we had, I think, over 600 people show up to the very first content marketing. And I think it was at that time, as the business began to grow and expand in that 2010, 2011 timeframe, once we saw that type of interest in the face-to-face event, things really started to grow quickly kind of from there. And the event itself started to grow, interest in the blog started to grow, and the community started to develop into what it has become today.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so you had 600 people in the first one.
The first event, and that has grown to well over 2,000 people at today's show.
Yeah.
It's been kind of a rocket ship growth from there.
Wow, that's cool. So you were in Ohio for 10 years, and then you just moved to San Diego for the last couple years?
So there's been some acquisitions along the way. So in 2017, we were acquired by, at the time, UBM, which is an events and media company. And then just about a year and a half later, Informa, our current parent company, acquired UVM, so they acquired us. So we kind of went through 2 acquisitions in a short period of time, and that was all pre-pandemic. So we were in Cleveland for about 10 years, each year in Cleveland. And then in 2023, for the first time, we moved out of Cleveland and went to Washington, D.C. And for the last 2 years, we've been here in San Diego. And next year we'll be in Denver. So we're going to be kind of moving the show a little bit more to kind of take it on the road, and for those of us, or for some of us on west of the Mississippi, to have access, and just kind of keep moving it a little bit around so that the community can
nice.
To the show.
I think it's more exciting to have a road show like that.
Yeah,
it's like, where is it going to be this year?
Exactly. It's it's cool. We have a lot of loyal following, that kind of knew Cleveland and came to Cleveland, and it's a very near and dear to our hearts, because that's where we were founded, and we identify a lot with Cleveland. Our orange colors are kind of home to Browns and things like that. But it's also been a lot of fun to experience different places, not only with our team, but with our community, sometimes closer than where they're at.
Okay, excellent. For this year, what are some of the standout sessions or parts?
Oh boy, well, many sessions. I mean, when you're called Content Marketing World, you do have a fair amount of content, right, to share with the community. So so thinking of kind of some of our keynotes. So Andrew Davis this year, he's kind of been a consistent member of our community for many, many years. We had Hannah Alasker from Adobe on our stage. The Onion, I think, was just this morning, and they inserted some comedy, which I think at a time like now, with with kind of the polarized times that we have, really comedy really can help bring things down a little bit and bring things together, which has been really, really cool. And tomorrow we'll have Paul Coxill from Cannes Lion. And Lion's is part of our team, a sister brand of ours, so that's really exciting for us. And then, of course, we'll be closing with Guy Raz, which is really, really cool to kind of close out the show tomorrow. So I think those are some of the more maybe headline names that we have. And then in addition to that, we have almost 20 tracks throughout the last today and tomorrow, with probably 150 to 180 sessions across the 2.5 days. So it's a busy 2.5 days. I think there's something for everybody.
The show. For sure. I went through it and just skimmed through it, and I'm like, wow, how am I going to have time to
like
see
I
all
said,
this?
kind of was saying in the beginning, a lot of different parts that make up content marketing, and we try to touch on all of them, whether it's anything from SEO, social media, writing, things like that. We kind of bring something for all.
That's awesome. Do you see yourselves as the content marketing world as making an impact in the industry?
Well, the short answer, yes. I think in a lot of ways, and I don't mean for this to sound self-centered, but I think we are the industry in a lot. And what I mean by that is we try to, I think, view ourselves as a hub with spokes, all around it. And we like to be the hub that brings the community together, not only the community of content marketers, but also the technology and the services and providers that service those folks as well. So I mean, I think just in the expo hall here, that's a lot of what these folks are doing, because they allow content marketing teams and marketing teams in general to be more efficient, to generate that content and get it out at scale, to check that content to make sure it's in alignment with their messaging and things like that, and to have high quality content as well, which I think in today's age, there's a lot of content, right? Like it's not difficult to produce content. I think it's difficult to produce high quality content and high engaging content. And I think that's a lot of what we try and preach, and a lot of what we hope that the stakeholders here are helping our community do.
Well, I have a great example. We're here at our booth, which happens to be directly across from Adobe. We use a lot of Adobe products.
Yeah.
So we're like, hey, what's up? And then people are coming to our booth and they're looking for our services.
Sure.
But one thing that I've noticed different between the content marketing world and other conferences and trade shows that we've done is that here it seems like everybody speaks our language. We all speak the same kind of.
Yeah, so that we hear that a lot, and I think that says a lot about our community and the value of our community and the quality of our community. Is that we are a little bit of a niche within the marketing community, content marketing, but. We don't shy away from that, and we also, I think, our sponsors are aware of that. So, it helps kind of take away the educational part with the community. This is not a 101 community. They are a pretty high level, highly informed marketing community. They know they've been coming for quite some time. We have a lot of repeat visitors. We actually have a lot of new first timers this year as well. So there's a really nice balance. But I think for the most part, if you've invested in coming to the show, you already have a fair level of understanding of what content marketing is, or at least what it means to you. And then I think you can expand on that, whether in the expo hall or in the sessions that we offer and things like that.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. So where do you see content marketing world? What do you see for the future of this?
So I think we're really, really excited about the future. I think I mentioned Cannes Lion earlier, and Informa made a major investment in a company called Essential, which was the parent company of Cannes Lion. So we now are part of Cannes Lion, and there's a new festivals division here in Informa, of which Content Marketing World is part of, as is Cannes Lion, as is TMRE, which is one of our sister events, which is the market research event. So I think when it comes to the future, I think you're going to see a little bit more of a combination, and for a word that we maybe have invented, a festivalization of marketing, where you might have, for example, neighborhoods of different places, things like that. So you might have content marketing at the marketing festival, you might have the market research event at the marketing festival, things like that. So leaning into that, next year, for the first time, we'll be co-located with the marketing research event in Denver. So 2 events happening at the same time, but 1 expo hall, 1 keynote room. So there'll be some overlap between the events. We'll still have 2 separate agendas, 2 separate registrations, but I do think that the future is going to be a little more integration amongst the 2.
Great.
Yeah.
It's almost today San Diego, tomorrow the world.
That's correct, absolutely. I think we already have a footprint in Cannes Lion, a little bit more on the ad tech side, a little more on the consumer side, and I think North America, we have a little bit of a footprint here with CM World on the B2B side, and I think you're going to just kind of continue to see the blend of that on both sides of the Atlantic.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Drew.
Thank you, Ivan.
It's been a great show. I'm
appreciate
looking forward to
Thank you
next
so
year.
much for being a part of it, and thank you for coming to CM World. We really appreciate your business.
For sure. Thank
you so much. Appreciate you.
All right.
Thanks.
What a great time we had at Content Marketing World. So many creative minds, inspiring conversations, and big ideas for where the industry is headed. A huge thank you to everyone we met and interviewed during the event. And we're already looking forward to next year's conference in Colorado. If you want to find out more about AAFOC and follow us on social media, and if you want to be our next guest, shoot us an email and let's talk about how we can feature you on our next episode. This podcast is brought to you by the American Advertising Federation of Orange County, or AAFOC. Be sure to join us for our next event on October 22nd, titled, What Are Marketers Doing Today to Up-Level with AI? It's going to be a fantastic discussion you won't want to miss. If you enjoyed today's episode, follow the podcast and share it with a friend. Until next time, this is AdTalk OC.